If you've heard comments from other people that you work with that are meant to make you feel like you're working too slow, that you're not fast enough, this video is for you. Hey there, my name is Tammy Dunnett, your leadership and communication skills coach, and in today's video, we're looking at the third offensive behavior, that is verbal comments such as abrupt responses, snide comments, passive aggression, and this is coming from the 50 Powerful Scripts to Stop Offensive Behavior. The third category of toxic behaviors is one that is often seen and heard in the workplace, but less often addressed. So I'm going to share with you an example, how you can use one of these scripts to address it, and why this script is so good. Let's get started. So you either hear directly to you, somebody's brought this to your attention, or maybe you overhear another person talking about another colleague of yours and they comment, "Seriously? Like my grandma moves faster than her." What do you do? Now, this is definitely not a wanted comment. It's undesirable. It makes people feel uncomfortable, and there's a lot of judgment in there. And the biggest piece is there's a missed opportunity for them to share their real concerns because they're covering it up with this blanket statement that's meant to offend somebody by saying, "Really, my grandma moves faster than you." So what can you say in return? Well, if you look at your verbal comments, this is a free download, by the way. You'll find the link either in the description or above here. I'm going to select this one here. And here's what I would say to that. It's not okay that you say, insert what they just said. It's not okay for you to say, "Your grandma's faster than me." Period. Notice there's an urgency and a need to want to fill in more information, to rationalize why this is your position, to give them evidence as to why you're going slower than maybe they hoped you would go, but none of that's needed. You simply need to call out the behavior that you're seeing that's offensive and tell them it's not okay. It's not okay for you to say, "Your grandma could do this faster." Now, what might happen after this is that they self-reflect. That would be the ideal outcome in my mind, is that they self-reflect and go, "Okay, you're right, that was rude. I'm curious as to what's taking you so long." Another thing that can happen is you can then follow it up with a question, not justification. So here's an example. "It's not okay for you to say that your grandma can do this faster. What is it that you're seeing in me that makes you feel like I'm taking too long?" Or, "It's not okay that you say that your grandma can do this faster. What's the impact to you?" Period. There might be something that's going on in their workload that they're feeling frustrated or struggling with. That's okay. The way in which they are communicating it is not okay. So what I love about this script is, number one, it calls out the behavior and it's fact-based. That's number two. You cannot infuse a judgment here. And here's an example of infusing a judgment. It's not okay for you to say, "I'm too slow," in a rude way. A rude way is, first of all, an opinion. "I'm too slow" is not what they said. What they said was, "My grandma could do things faster." So you don't want to confuse what they're saying and share with them what you're hearing. You want to stay in the facts. So that's the second benefit. Number one is it calls out the behavior. Number two, it stays in fact-based conversation. It can't be disputed. They absolutely said, "My grandma's faster than you." And the third thing is it really sets the boundary and the container in which you feel respectful conversation can happen. Now, I think ideally there would be a follow-up conversation that goes into understanding, what is it that's upsetting you? How is this impacting you? What do you think I can do to shorten the time to go from A to B? Because if you're in nursing, you know that a lot of times you're doing medication admin, you need to research all your medication rights. Maybe you're preparing for a procedure that you haven't done for a while, so you want to review the steps so that you're competent. These things take time, and so they should. While you're taking that time to do a great job, there may be an impact to somebody else that would be really important to know. This may help you set the stage the next time you come into this situation to communicate with a team member ahead of time. You might want to go, "Hey, I'm going to be doing a dressing change that I haven't done for a while. I need about 10 minutes to research this to make sure I've got it right. Are you okay if I do that?" Setting the stage beforehand so you can avoid these off-the-cuff offensive comments. If this has been helpful, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below and share with me some of the offensive things people have said or you have heard, and let me know if this particular script would be helpful in that situation. And if not, go download the other 50 and find one that would work perfectly for your situation. Make sure you follow for more, hit that subscribe button, and share this with your friends who absolutely need to hear this, because without these scripts, without having tools and resources to address offensive behaviors, research will show that these unaddressed behaviors will continue to erode away at the trust in your teams, increase the turnover in your environment, and just create a toxic culture where nobody wants to work. And we all know that that impacts not only the patient's safety, the organizational bottom line, but it impacts the people.